I recently talked a lot about stop pretending like you know anyone. You start pretending like you know yourself. You're not fully yours. You have another you inside you that's genuine and a lot honest with your own feelings that you cannot control for a period of time. When you're hit with these strong emotions like anger, sad sorrow, or even when you're flinching because of something like physical things happening outside, it's not your own self like that's reacting to it. That's a lot honest version of yourself. And then after those things happen, that's when you are in charge of things, like halfly charged. If you want to go listen to this thought, then you can just simply go to my YouTube channel and look what I said about like this simple will and reasoning behind it. And today I want to say something that I feel like I have to admit to what I think is wrong right now. I used to believe that once you have your own, like trying to follow the objective truth, let's say, like trying to achieve this, the absolute reasoning, let's say, like trying to reason everything else, everything around you, and trying to get an answer to them, and trying to live the life on objective truth, which so that you live in the reality. And I think that it's just not efficient. I'm not saying it's wrong, but it's just not efficient, and you'll very likely fail if you aren't as determined. If you aren't really determined to this kind of life, to this, let's say, truth seeking that isn't valuable anymore. I feel like in this society, like you this kind of things, and not even like this kind of thoughts or questions are valued. Um, and not this generation particularly. I'm saying like just in general, like in human society, I feel like the majority of people are focusing on something that really feels shallow and sometimes very pretentious and ostentatious. So what I'm trying to say today is having a simple, not simple, but subjective truth about yourself, subjective truth about your life, a path, a direction that you are willing to take no matter how long it takes and no matter how difficult it is. And it's something that I'm working on as I myself as well. And it's just because when there's no noise around you, I'm not saying like no noise, like um having to like absent of exterior narrative voices, like people around you. You don't socialize at all. I'm not saying that you should like always trying to reach out people and trying to see if your worldview is somewhat of a normal, ground, like so that you can keep on checking yourself if whether you're okay or not. Like that's something that you should be keep on doing. Like socializing will help you regardless of your situation. And I'm not talking about do like isolate yourself and trying to go monk mode again. It's just all about when you have this one certain theme or goal that can be achieved in the next like 2 years, 3 years. Like even if you work so hard to achieve to pursue this one, it's gonna take at least like 2 years. It's not something that you can quickly like rush into it. So what happens when you try to have it, when you have this kind of goal inside your life and you are so determined, is that you can just cancel these noises that happens inside you, which is the scariest and the yeah, it's the scariest thing that you should avoid. Like all the doubts, all the self doubts that you have in the middle of the night, things that just keep you not letting you fall asleep easily every single night. I think like these kind of things are the top priority that has to go when you're pursuing something. And when you have this like one certain goal inside you and your life just moving towards it, like every single not I'm not saying like you should invest every single hour, every single second and minute of your entire day just to pursue this one. I mean, if it takes that long, like we never know. Maybe you are launching a business, then you might actually need to be working like 100 hours or like over 100 hours a week, just because how difficult it is, you know. So like what I'm trying to say is when you are working towards something that just that can just make you disappear into action. Again, it's a concept that I use a lot in my YouTube channel. A Like disappearing into action is the ultimate goal, and it's the purest and the superior um, form of attention that you can have. Like authorship, having an authorship into this action, so that you can genuinely be doing like part of the action, instead of keep on introspecting and keep on being an observer of your own action, which is the worst, because you're not going to improve a lot, because you'll be keep on you'll be keep on looking at your actions and keep on thinking that like whether you are doing it right or not, which is not like, which shouldn't be the case. Not because I'm not saying like you shouldn't examine yourself, but closer to when you're trying to optimize something, when you're just like, the whole idea behind it is not to be paralyzed. Not, I'm not saying you should use actions as anesthesia of this reality, how absurd this reality is. I'm trying to use actions and goals as to make make a good mistake. Because no matter how bad, like how hard you try, no matter how determined you are, no matter how much time you spend, you will make so many mistakes during in a single day while pursuing that goal. And you'll see in a span of like a year, you look back at yourself and think that these kind of things were like clearly wrong. And that's the important thing, like you can clearly map out where you're heading to, and you can clearly see what were the things that you can now change, and what were the things that you that were clearly error but you didn't know back then. And I think this is so crucial and so important in your life, like how to make your life, your time, a lot more quality, a lot higher in quality compared to other people's life, or compared to other people's hours. Not because you should compete with them, but more like you should try to live your life in its fullest, not trying to assess whether if this decision that you're trying to make is perfect, like whether it's gonna make you somewhat like a millionaire, billionaire, or like whether it's truth, you know, whether it's morally righteous, like am I genuinely gonna earn something, like something that's morally righteous in like according to my belief, you know. All these things are, I feel like, are noise. And obviously I know like a clear backlash, I would say, like a downside of this is you can also, like, because of this own mechanism, you'll also, it'll be really difficult for you to introspect yourself, because it's hard to say what, like, from what to what is noise canceling, and from what to what is a genuine opinion, like a genuine criticism, or genuine, how do I say, like yeah, criticism of your actions and of your framework, so that you can clear, you can pinpoint what's the error in what you're doing. Because again, you're going to make so many mistakes, and that's the point. That's the point of your life. Like you have to, you can make mistakes. And to be honest, I feel like you should make mistakes. The important part of those people who make mistakes and grow, and people who make mistakes and stay there, is that the clear distinction is that those people who grow exactly know when, like when, not when, but like exactly what are the things that were errored, you know, like what were the things that they did wrong. Those people who don't cannot even pinpoint, like cannot even pick like one, or like they just say like vaguely, oh, I'm a piece of shit because I did that, you know. Because like they don't even know, like they cannot even exactly pin down on one thing, because they don't even know whether they were doing it right or not, because they were constantly half-assing it, or they were constantly thinking about this ideas, like they were stuck in this ideas that are so overwhelming that you cannot solve right now. It's not meant to be solved in the first place, in my opinion. Objective morality, things like consciousness, awareness, I feel like these things um good to sit on, like good to be aware again, like good to trying to be aware of these ideas, like they exist, and trying to keep on challenge yourself, trying to challenge yourself, your beliefs, and question your beliefs. But you should stop it right there. Like it's not something that you end up with a conclusion, end up with an answer, a clear answer, like an exercise, like a math exercise. You do all the equations, you scribble all the notes, all the um procedures, and you get an answer, and you get a clear answer. That's not just true. That's not how it works. I feel like you should be aware of those, but also at the same time trying to act, upon them. Let's say if you genuinely believe that Christian values are the objective morality, and things that's just like true, and you should just follow them, then you can do it while doing other things, while doing the goal that you're pursuing right now, so that you make mistakes and you can finally challenge your beliefs in a much better way, rather than just sitting there without knowing what to do, just completely paralyzed. And while I'm talking, I kind of realized that I'm talking about the kind of regurgitating about this idea of action over thinking, should I say, or action over thoughts. The world rewards actions instead of thinkers. I feel like it all comes down to having a clear path and direction where you want to go. It's also something that makes a person very shiny, should I say, like very, like it genuinely, some people shine, some people just shine as bright, like I'm not saying like they are tall, jacked, giga chad kind of people. Like they genuinely just have this different kind of aura around it, like they vibe different just by having some conversation. Like for some reason you just want to have conversation with them, because they are genuinely trying in their life. They are genuinely trying to reach this one goal in their life, and that's why they just shine. Like they are just so attractive as a human being. Like you want to be like them. You want to learn more about them, and they are so interesting as a human being, because again, like it's a weird feeling, because I've never really met many people, but they were like clear people, like clearly one to three people who I genuinely thought, oh my god, like this is it, like this is how I should be living my life. Like one was a professor, one I feel like one was like when I this friend of mine when I was like 13, 14. In another one I met like in my college, in my university. And they all, like one thing they all have in common is that they had this clear one goal. I'm not saying you should go all in this one goal, in your one goal, in your pursuit, and again, like trying to just like flag out, should I say flag out, like rule out any kind of opinions of others as noise. Like again, that's not the whole point, like that's just taking half of the lesson that I'm trying to tell you, like half of the pie. And always, you can always get half right, like things like, oh, life matters, like choice matters, even when it comes to abortion. Like those people who say like this one-sided things are just taking like half the pie of the whole thing, which is just the easiest thing to say. So I hope you get the message of this video. You should have this theme, like this one theme in your life that just that's just truth for you, like subjective truth. You do this because it's truth for you, like you love this, or whether it makes you feel like you're being closer to your own goal. But at the end, the actual goal of this whole journey is for you to make as many mistakes as possible while trying your best, and trying to clearly see all these marks, all these mistakes that you made, and improve as a person, and as a human being. And I feel like social relationship will just follow. It's just my speculation, but I feel like it's just gonna follow, because we humans, we all shine we all shine the most when we are actually trying. It's actually a quote that I really love from a book that I read when I was really little. Like it was more closer to a fairy tale, rather than a book. But I loved it so much, and it fits so well. And I even use this quote in one of my in title of my one of my videos. But anyways, yeah, that really is the whole point of this video. I hope you guys have a clear goal in your life, a theme that will eventually make you shine the brightest, like make you the kind of person that you dream of. Because I have this one version of myself that I'm keep on dreaming, but I just am not yet there yet. I just am not good enough to be there yet, like this all caring, wholesome, kind, this version of myself, but I'm trying to be in the future. Anyways, thank you for watching the video.